We're only a few days away from TNA Slammiversary, but it feels like a 1-year anniversary from the last time Fogg talked about TNA. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. And yes, we were, slipping up. We dropped the ball, basically. We fumbled over the WrestleMania season. Been a while since we watched TNA. Been a while since we recorded our TNA reviews. But we're back now, and we're going to be back every single week, bringing you some impactful stuff.
We may have stopped, but guess what? The payments didn't stop coming at my bank account, so you know what? I need to keep it rolling. I need to do more.
$9.99 over the last 3 months for TNA Impact Plus, and we've watched absolutely hee-haw.
My bank choking like you just did there.
Well, yeah. So we're going to get into this show. It's the 15th of June, 2006. Commentators, as usual, Mike Tenay and Don West, and you guessed that this show was taped from Orlando, Florida. Now, it has been a while since we watched it, so, the memory might not quite be there, but we do kick off the show with none other than the champion, the NWA champion. Christian Cage comes down to the ring. He's in his street clothes. He's got the belt over his shoulder. I like Christian, but at this time, he kind of did stick out like a sore thumb, I think, in the world title scene and as a world champion, because, the guy wasn't he wasn't the tallest, and he certainly didn't have the build. Maybe the worst champion build. Is he the worst person to have a world championship in terms of build up to this point?
It's up to this point, absolutely.
Now, I don't really recall other champions and other companies, and
Bob Backlund. But Bob Backlund had a bit of beef behind him, didn't he?
Yeah, if you look at some of the not so bigger guys, and Shawn Michaels and Jericho had good physiques.
Yeah, people throw them in with Christian. I don't get it.
Like, Christian, he might have been a bit taller than Jericho, but he was like lanky tall, wasn't he? Jericho had a good build, and Shawn Michaels was beefy as fuck. See, in 97, 98.
Like, if Christian came out and said, "I've never been in a gym," I'd probably believe him.
Like, see Shawn Michaels, see when he takes on The Undertaker, it's believable. He's a smaller guy, but I think you believe that Shawn Michaels has a chance. See if Christian stepped into the Hell in a Cell against Taker, you'd be like, right, where's that ambulance?
Christian would need to turn to God.
He wouldn't step out.
But I thought this promo was pretty poor. He comes out dressed in like the shittiest pyjama top of all time. And I think at this point he's in dire need of the heel turn.
Christian's always been a better heel than face.
Yeah.
Pretty much his entire WWE career, he was a heel. The only time I really remember Christian being a face would be like small periods where Edge and Christian would turn face, but even as a tag team, they were majority heel. And also another thing, seeing you think about Edge and Christian, we talk about how they're one, I don't know how you feel, for me they're one of the best tag teams of all time.
Yeah.
See when you actually look at their tag team run, lasted about 2 years.
Yeah.
If you want to be the benefit, say 2.5 if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
The benefit of flash photography.
But it didn't, here's the point, right? It lasted less than 3.
Aye.
And look how many iconic moments those guys created. And yes, guys, what this is leading to? It's leading to a dig at today's wrestling. But
yeah.
Holy shit, man. Look at like the New Day and the Usos and how long they went without like reinventing themselves, and how long those guys went just really without any change at all. 10 years the Usos went. Even you'll get Roman Reigns' title reign lasted almost 4 years, barely any change in it. Then you got Edge and Christian, who accomplished so much in their tag team run, and it only lasted just over 2 years.
It just shows you don't need decades. You can do it in a short period, and they did.
Well, you could when wrestling was good. Now you need. That's one reason why I think Cena's reign's going to suck. Apart from the fact that wrestling's horrible, I just do not see with the format and the pacing of wrestling how they give you much good anything other than maybe 2 good moments with Cena.
Yo, Cena, he said it himself on Raw. He's got 27 dates left. He basically said, I'm not going to be working.
27 dates, not matches.
Yeah, he said 27
Pitching,
dates.
not catching.
I'm not going to be working many of the fucking dates.
Anyway, right, back to TNA here. Enough talking about WWE. Sting comes out after Christian runs down all his opponents. Sting's like, I came to TNA to stop Jeff Jarrett. And Christian says, you tell me you're not interested in this? Sting's kind of like, nah, the belt doesn't really mean anything to me at this point. Christian addresses the fact that Sting has said that the worst thing that could happen to TNA is for Jarrett to be world champion. Christian doesn't necessarily think that's true. Christian thinks the worst thing that could happen to TNA would be for Christian Cage to lose the NWA World Championship. Christian says no disrespect to any of his opponents, but they ain't taking the belt off him. And he says this is his time. And that's basically it. Christy Hemme then gives us the whole still to come commercial before we go to the break. I mean, it was. It wasn't the worst promo, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't the best.
I get it, right? Sting's what 48 here, run about that ballpark. Why can't he say here? Yeah, I'm in this match for the title, but it's not my primary focus. My primary focus is wiping out Jeff Jarrett. But he basically said, I don't give two fucks about the belt, Christian. And here, if you actually, spoiler alert, Slammiversary, about a fucking third of the match is Sting and Christian humming and hawing at the bottom of the ladder. Oh, I don't really want it. Oh, you can go get it. I mean, honestly, I didn't really like that. Why can't Sting actually want the belt, but more focused on Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost devaluing the belt that Sting's in the match for the belt, and he's like, I don't really want it.
Yeah, and there has been points in the past, like, Kane, I'm sure if he spoke into his voice box before King of the Ring, he'd be like, I want to make you feel pain, Austin. He wouldn't really give a fuck about the belt, but he would have took the belt by beating Austin. At the same time, here, it's like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck about this. It's almost like TNA at this point have accepted that, yeah, we could have done a singles match between Jarrett and Sting, but we kind of needed them in the King of the Mountain match.
Yeah, agreed. Right, Borash is backstage with Alex Shelley and Kevin Nash. Nash says that...
Your throat backstage?
Nash says that his X Division match tonight is part of the trilogy. So you've got the whole trilogy, the pie chart. He was drawing, like, isosceles triangles showing how he was going to get prepared for the Sabin match. And tonight's the final part, and that is wrestling a Sabin-type opponent. Shelley says that he's found an almost clone of Chris Sabin, except for his face. So that is why tonight, Kevin Nash's opponent in the X Division match will be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And Nash starts singing, Happy Slammiversary, Sabin, I've got you on my mind. And then he says, size matters. So we'll see if size matters tonight. I'm liking this wee
gimmick for Kevin Nash.
We then get Diamonds in the Rough. Alex Skipper and David Young with Simon Diamond, who I absolutely could not care less about, taking on the Naturals, Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens, who I also absolutely could not care less about. Or, could not care less? Nah, that's true, isn't it? I could not care less, yeah. I was making sure I got that term right there, because I thought, no, maybe I could care more, or something, I don't know.
I don't really mind the Naturals, but the Diamonds in the Rough are rough, man. There's nothing good about them.
Diamonds in the Rough. I mean, you tell me you search through the rough for diamonds, and these are the guys that you're trying to find.
The tragic thing is, it's like, I would love to say, these guys are just destined for impact and explosion. Half of these matches are like the first third of a fucking pay-per-view. That's not even exaggerating.
Should have called them like trash in the can or fucking shite in the dumpster or something. I don't know. Not Diamonds in the Rough.
Diamonds in the Rough.
Diamonds in the Rough get the win. We then have Chase Stevens, who's pissed and bust it open. Then we get a brawl into like the crowd. LAX are there, not LA Knight. LAX are there.
Yeah. Get out of an area.
And they attack them because they crossed the line. Conan says,
the border.
Nobody crosses our border, I say. Shane Douglas comes out and he looks at the fallen Naturals, and the Naturals are just beaten up because they crossed the LAX line, and Shane Douglas has been coming out recently looking at the Naturals. I don't understand.
It's funny, Chris, he hasn't even addressed it. It's like, they just get battered by LAX. He doesn't even give a hint of acknowledgement towards them.
Yeah, then we come back for a commercial break. Shane Douglas is in the ring with the Naturals. He says, what the hell are you guys doing? He says, you were born for this, and you've squandered the talent that you were given. Over a year ago, he said he lost his best friend or whatever, Chris Candido. I don't remember when he died.
2005.
Well, apparently so. He says that Chris Candido...
common denominator would suggest that.
Well, that's true. He says Chris Candido... Apparently, like the feed went out for a bit during this, but he says that Chris Candido's watching from above. and that Douglas swears that he will help the Naturals get back to the top of this business. He sweared basically on Candido's life. Now, I don't remember the Naturals getting back to the top, with or without Shane Douglas, so we'll be interested to see what happens here.
Well, put it this way, right? If Shane Douglas is willing to drag Chris Candido's name through the mud, I'll do my best as well. I never rated Candido.
I was going to go there.
Right? I think he's fucking garbage, to be honest, and all he's known for is kind of just being a fucking cuck to Sonny.
I was about to say that. I mean, that's...
I'm not going to pretend because the guy's dead, he's great. I mean, I think it's disrespectful to even say he's mid.
Yeah,
he's died, that sucks. Don't wish death on the guy, but I'm not going to sit here and overrate him at the same time.
Yeah, that just happens way too often. Us not putting somebody on a pedestal, us not claiming someone... That's not being disrespectful. You're just being true. You see it all the time. Somebody dies and they get overrated to the max. See, for me, Chris Candido, I mean, where's his great moments? What's the standout of his career? There's been a lot of jobbers, right, in WWE, WWF, TNA or whatever, and you can look at it and you can go, you know what? His career wasn't up to much, but I remember that one match or that one moment.
Yep.
Like, one guy I thought was really overrated was Crash Holly. But, you know, he did have that fun run with the 24/7 title. And I can't, you know what I mean?
And that Funhouse match?
Yeah, with the headbangers. You know, he can't turn around and say, oh, that's...
The scales?
Yeah, this... Although I do think that he kind of dragged down Hardcore Holly when he came in. But, like, the guy had a couple of good moments. I just don't really recall anything good that Chris Candido did.
Yeah, I don't. And, yeah, so... Apologies, Chris Candido, but you've just been fucked.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, maybe people enjoy him, maybe what we're looking for...
No, but it's the same across the board, right? Benoit, Guerrero, Bray Wyatt, other people. Hell, I mean, honestly, this isn't because I really like Scott Hall. I would say Scott Hall's one of the few guys I don't think has been massively overrated by his death. I just don't think people... I think because he was genuinely good, there was no real reason for people to overrate him when he died. You look at Benoit and Guerrero... See if none of them died, right, or did whatever to themselves, they would be nowhere near as fondly remembered as what they are.
Well, you could argue people don't really fondly remember Benoit, but
from a wrestling perspective,
to me, Eddie Guerrero is like an 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 kind of wrestler.
Yep.
And I don't. When I say I don't, I mean like in a whole package.
Yeah.
If Austin's a 10 out of 10, Guerrero's like an 8 out of 10, I think. At best.
Yeah.
And that's not being disrespectful. I like Eddie Guerrero. Guy was talented. Guy was great in the ring. Guy was great on the mic, But he wasn't... The amount of people that say Eddie Guerrero is their favourite wrestler of all time. He can be your favourite wrestler, but he's not the best.
Like, if you look at the career path that Guerrero and Benoit were heading towards, like, they were going to have like way less successful careers than like someone like a Booker T, a Rob Van Dam. But it's like, you look at Booker T and Rob Van Dam in 2025, and I'm not saying their legacy's shite, it's far from it, because I really rate both guys, and I love watching both guys, but they would be, like, Benoit and Guerrero would be considered worse than them if they were still alive. But because they've died, it's almost like, you ask the average person in wrestling, they'll say Guerrero is better than Booker T and Van Dam, just due to the fact that he died.
Yeah, I mean...
But I think if he lived, no one would say that, apart from obviously the people that were fans of him properly.
Yeah, I'm like, look, it's all kind of opinions at the end of the day. My opinion is, I just didn't really rate Chris Candido. But here...
And the same for Shane Douglas. What happened to this guy? ECW champ. Felt like he had his own reign of terror.
Yeah, I mean, another guy that I never watched ECW to see Shane Douglas.
Well, I watched quite a lot of it, and he was pish, to be honest. I mean, he was alright.
To me, he was alright, but there was more interest in people in ECW. I don't think people were going to ECW to watch... Nobody was paying to see Shane Douglas. I think people were going... You can say... People would pay to go and see RVD, Sabu. People would go and see the Sandman.
How was Rob Van Dam or Dreamer not world champ, by the way? Dreamer had a genuine fucking reason with Paul Heyman at Maniac 7, like...
Anyway, let's move on here. I feel like we're burying people that are either dead or soon to be dead. Anyway, right,
they're free to bury us.
Slick Johnston runs out. He said he's got incredible news. He knows who the new face of TNA management is. and he wants to see Larry Zbyszko right now. So we get that. There's a package build up for Joe versus Steiner.
This was good.
Yeah.
The fat bastard.
Yes. Right, we then get Kevin Nash versus Mr. X. Mr. X comes out and it's a midget with a mask.
He's still taller than Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, the announcers say according to Kevin Nash, he hails from Hell, Michigan. So just like Saban. Nash gets on the mic and he says, I know that's you, Saban. So Nash thinks that this little mini guy is Saban. He says he can come down and put lifts in his shoes, but he knows it's him. So Nash suggesting that this midget is actually taller than Saban.
Fantastic. You know what? And this X Division run for Nash has been done perfectly. Like burying vanilla midgets.
Nash says, Hell, Michigan, huh? Must have got this guy on short notice.
Brilliant. It's cheap, it's low-hanging fruit, pun intended, but it works every time.
Yeah, Nash then starts the match on his knees, wrestles the guy. I mean, basically hits all this like small offense. Does the Kevin Nash big boot while sitting on a chair.
Which was brilliant.
Literally, Irish whips the guy, sits down on the chair and lifts his leg up a little bit, and the guy runs into his fucking boot.
And it's perfect height.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even call this a big boot. It's definitely more of a small boot. The crowd are chanting, this is awesome. Nash hits a choke slam for his knees, then comes off the bottom rope with a splash. It's like, fucking...
No, but this is great, man. This is comedy.
Then Nash gives Mr. X a powerbomb, covers him for the win, gets the victory. Your winner of this X Division match is Kevin Nash, and once again,
what a maneuver!
Size matters. Then we got highlights from a house show at the ECW arena in Philly.
Oh, this was cheap as fuck, wasn't it? Honestly, this looked like it was filmed in some fucking forget bingo hall. Like I don't know where this was filmed. Some garage.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. TNA don't have the rights to ECW, and they're kind of only doing this shit because WWE's bringing ECW back. But I mean, you kind of wonder, like, would it not have been possible for TNA to maybe do some form of ECW like comeback and just call it something else before WWE did it? I think if they did it like an ECW invasion before One Night Stand, it just would have been better, I think. But now that they're trying to go down this direction because WWE's doing it,
non-stop wrestling. Ian Dub.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but anyway, I mean, you've had the team.
I think the digs for the Dudleys it's borderline pathetic.
Yeah, we then get Bobby Roode and Monty Brown and America's Most Wanted taking on AJ Styles, Daniels, Raven, and Rhino. So big 8-man tag match here. Match ends when Daniels nails the Angel Wings on Harris, but Roode makes a save. Gail Kim gets in, does a tornado DDT on Daniels. Brown then, and Anthony Brown, Monty Brown hits the pounce on Daniels just before he pounces out the door and goes to ECW, and he gets the pinfall. And Tenay says once again they steal it because of Gail Kim. Pretty much, she's always costing everyone the match. Well, not costing her team the match, but costing everybody who takes on America's Most Wanted. We then see Larry Zbyszko. You show him walking about in the parking lot. A car arrives. He looks in the car. Larry Zbyszko sees the new face of TNA management. We don't see it. And that's it. The show ends with the adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline rush.
So that was it. Again, just a good job there at the end of just doing the reveal, but not revealing it to us. And at this point, you're left needing to tune in to Slammiversary to find out who it is. And considering that TNA do tape shows, I think it was best that they left it for they left it for Slammiversary because it would have got out. See if they commit to the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, this would have been known weeks in advance that it was Jim Cornette. Now, I can't remember. Maybe there was backstage news and maybe people realised it was Jim Cornette anyway, but it wasn't revealed it was Jim Cornette up until the live pay-per-view, and that's probably why they dragged it out over the weeks.
But yeah, maybe they didn't know who they were getting as well, but also it's just good booking. When do you get anything like this today? You know, I mean, modern, it's so boring. It's like, well, fucking mysteries, Yo, we always speak about like the odd time here on this channel. I not remember when Kurt Angle had that the mysterious son. It turned out to be Jason Jordan, right? That's 8 fucking years ago. That to me, like when we speak about it, it feels like what 3.5 or something. 8.
Yeah, mental, absolutely
And
mental.
one last thing on ECW, right? You see everyone that's beefing in TNA about ECW. How about they actually channel that anger and animosity towards fucking Paul Heyman? He's the one that let it go out of business. Let's be McMahon is well within his rights to do as he fucking pleases with it. It's always turned. Oh, look what McMahon did with ECW. No. See McMahon and see the invasion angle, right? And also ECW 2005-06 and in its later years.
McMahon didn't have to do any of that shit.
Yeah. No. Let's not blame McMahon for winning the Monday Night Wars and also bringing back certain things.
Plus, Paul Heyman was a snake. Paul Heyman was making it, trying to get all his guys to believe that they were fighting this actual war, and all the time he's taking paychecks from McMahon. You know, pretending that we're really rivals, but in the end, I mean, he's taking money off fucking McMahon.
Paul Heyman is a snake, man. I don't understand why all these ECW guys get along with him, honestly.
Well, they don't, do they?
You say they don't, but...
Well, I mean, Tommy Dreamer doesn't.
I don't know, they can't all get along.
I don't think they trust him.
I don't think they trust... I don't... He's a fucking snake, man. I'm just sick of this. It's like another reason to bash McMahon. Anyway, it's TNA time.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10, right? I mean, I thought the show didn't start off great. The Christian Sting promo, I mean, on paper, should be one of the best things the show can do.
But it's Sting.
Christian and Sting. I mean... great, it should be a great promo, but it just wasn't. Then we got Diamonds in the Rough versus the Naturals. Did not care for that at all. And then Shane Douglas comes out, cuts a promo. Didn't care for that either. But after that, I mean, we got the Kevin Nash match, and then we got that 8-man main event. So to me, that drags up. I'm getting it a 7 out of 10. Plus, I like the reveal at the end with the limo arriving. So I mean, show poor first half, but really strong second half.
Yeah, but it is a 43-minute show, folks. So I'm going to get a 6 out of 10. I mean. You can't have a poor first half and pretend it's a 7 in the second. I mean, that's suggesting that the second half of the show is like a fucking 10 or something. I'll give a 6.
Well, I like the second half.
I like the second
big
half
main
as
event,
well,
the Nash match, and then the...
Vacant arriving in a car can't really undo Diamonds in the Rough, can he?
Right, well, there you go, guys. That's it. 6.5 out of 10.
We're not going fucking mining with that tennis racket.
Slammiversary coming next. Till then, peace.